Eugenie and Beatrice mortified by parents' ties to Epstein. Welcome back to Crown Chronicles, your royal home for truth, intrigue, and the untold stories behind palace walls. Crown, if you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up, because today's story delves into a royal family scandal that has left two princesses absolutely devastated. This is the heartbreaking tale of Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, the daughters of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, two women born into privilege and prestige, yet now facing the painful consequences of their parents' connections to one of the darkest scandals in modern royal history, the Jeffrey Epstein saga. According to insiders close to the family, both Beatrice and Eugenie have been left mortified and deeply embarrassed as their parents, especially their father, Prince Andrew, continue to be associated with the convicted sex offender years after his death. Despite the Duke of York's repeated denials of wrongdoing, the shadow of Epstein has lingered over the York family like a storm cloud that refuses to pass, and now, it seems that emotional toll is finally taking its full effect. Sources reveal that Beatrice and Eugenie, who have always sought to lead quieter, more private lives, feel trapped by the actions of their parents, particularly as new conversations and headlines about Epstein resurface. One friend reportedly told a royal correspondent, they love their father dearly, but they can't escape the shame of what's happened. Every time they're in public, it's like there's an invisible weight hanging over them. For these two royal sisters, this isn't just about public image, it's about identity. For years, Beatrice and Eugenie have been trying to modernize the York family's reputation, focusing on charity work, motherhood, and environmental causes. Eugenie, in particular, has championed sustainability and human trafficking awareness, issues painfully close to the subject of Epstein's crimes. But as one royal insider put it, it's incredibly difficult to campaign for good when your own family's name is tied to something so dark. The strain has been especially heavy on Princess Eugenie, who has always worn her heart on her sleeve. Close friends say she's been reduced to tears on more than one occasion after reading headlines or social media comments linking her family to Epstein. Even though neither she nor her sister have ever had any involvement in the scandal, guilt by association is a powerful thing, and in the court of public opinion, it can be brutal. Then there's Sarah Ferguson, their mother, who has also been connected to Epstein in the past. Years ago, it was revealed that she had accepted financial help from Epstein to pay off debts, a decision she later called a huge mistake and publicly apologized for. But while the Duchess of York insists she didn't understand the full nature of Epstein's crimes at the time, the revelation was devastating for her daughters. According to reports, Beatrice and Eugenie were horrified to learn that their mother had any dealings with Epstein at all. One source described their reaction as deeply hurt and embarrassed, adding that they've had to work tirelessly to separate themselves from the lingering stigma. And let's not forget their father, Prince Andrew, whose disastrous BBC Newsnight interview still remains one of the most infamous royal moments in history. In that 2019 sit-down, Andrew attempted to defend himself against allegations of sexual misconduct, claiming he had no recollection of ever meeting Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's victims who accused him of abuse. His comments, including his bizarre mention of being unable to sweat, became instant memes, turning what was meant to clear his name into a PR catastrophe. For Beatrice and Eugenie, watching their father's public downfall was excruciating. In the aftermath, Prince Andrew was stripped of his royal duties, forced to step back from public life, and has since lived mostly in seclusion at Royal Lodge in Windsor. The sisters have continued to visit him, remaining supportive behind closed doors, but even their loyalty has come at a cost. Every time they appear at a royal event, cameras flash and whispers follow. Every time their names are mentioned online, someone brings up Epstein. It's an endless reminder that, no matter how innocent they are, they can't escape the sins of association. Yet through it all, the sisters have handled the situation with remarkable grace. Princess Beatrice, who now has a young daughter, Sienna, has kept her focus on her family and private life, maintaining a low profile and choosing her public appearances carefully. Eugenie, meanwhile, continues to represent causes she believes in, quietly but passionately trying to rebuild the York name from the ground up. Still, those closest to the family say that both sisters have privately urged their parents, especially Prince Andrew, to make amends and avoid drawing further attention. It said they've had difficult conversations behind closed doors, asking him to live quietly and stay away from the public eye to avoid reigniting media scrutiny, but despite their efforts, the scandal has proven inescapable. With new documentaries and interviews about Epstein continuing to surface, the York family name inevitably gets dragged back into headlines. And each time, the pain returns, fresh and raw. According to one palace insider, Eugenie and Beatrice are torn. They adore their parents and will always stand by them. But they also feel that the family name they were born into has been tarnished beyond repair. It's heartbreaking for them. What makes this all the more tragic is that both sisters are known for their kindness and humility, qualities often praised by royal watchers. Unlike some royals, they've never flaunted their privilege or sought the spotlight. They've simply wanted to live meaningful, authentic lives. But as one royal commentator noted, you can't choose your family, especially when your family is royal. Public sympathy remains divided. Some believe Beatrice and Eugenie deserve compassion, that they're victims of circumstance, unfairly caught in a storm they never created. Others argue that the monarchy's silence over Epstein's connections has damaged the royal institution beyond repair, and that the Yorks, as a whole, must bear responsibility. But if there's one thing that's certain, it's that Beatrice and Eugenie are determined to rise above. They've leaned on each other, shared in private heartbreaks, and focused on building their own legacies, separate from the scandal that continues to follow their parents. In many ways, their bond as sisters has become their greatest strength, so, as the world continues to judge their family, Beatrice and Eugenie quietly remind us of what it truly means to live under the weight of a crown, and a name, and perhaps that's what makes their story so human. Behind the royal titles and the glittering gowns are two women who never asked for fame, never sought controversy, and yet find themselves fighting every day to protect their dignity, their families, and their futures. Crown, thank you for watching Crown Chronicles, where we bring you the truth, the drama, and the emotion behind royal life. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and tell us in the comments, do you think Beatrice and Eugenie will ever escape the shadow of their parents' scandal? Stay tuned, because in the royal world, even silence speaks volumes.